As the wildfire season grows longer, more intense, and more unpredictable every year, there's one thing that remains constant. Preparedness saves lives and property. Welcome to the first show of Be Prepared Calaveras. I'm your host, Martha Rubin. Fire safety is not an individual effort, it's a community mission. So today, for our first show, we have in studio Vicki Sneed-Hinkle, who is the president of the Lions Club from West Point, and Rick Kerrigan, Blue Mountain Emergency Preparedness Committee. Welcome, and welcome to the first show. So happy to have you here.
Thank you for having us, Martha.
Very exciting to have your new show.
Yeah, thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And you are here to talk about your Wildfire Safety Extravaganza, which will be on June 14th at the West Point Community Center. So please tell us a little bit more about the event, how it came about, and what can we expect from the day?
We've been concerned for quite some time in West Point about our vulnerability with fires, especially as fires, as you say, are expanding and growing more unpredictable. And we have been working for some time to try to increase community awareness. And Rick has gone a long way toward that end by incorporating with the West Point Lions Club to bring the Blue Mountain Emergency Preparedness Committee under the auspices of Lions, and so we can work together instead of working separately for the same goal. And through the Lions Club of West Point and the International Lions, we have managed to bring together funds and energy toward helping to create a better resiliency for our own West Point Community Hall, which is the County Disaster Response Center. And Rick has worked further to try to incorporate with that, bringing the community to together to add awareness to what we need to do to prepare. And I think he'll go into that aspect of things in full.
Yeah, that's great. So you want to tell us a little bit more about how we should be prepared?
Sure. Let me try to connect a little bit with what Vicki just said. Vicki is our Lions Club president in West Point, and West Point is a volunteer service organization. It has a worldwide footprint, but there are, 8 core missions of public service, and the one that was added most recently is disaster relief and preparedness, which was a perfect tie-in for the Emergency Preparedness Committee. Vicki and I helped reorganize that committee a couple of years ago. It has a longer history, but during COVID, it kind of went quiet for a while. So we put it together. Now we have 6 or 7 people that work together to make things happen. And the mission of the committee, the missions have been to do public outreach, awareness, increase knowledge and access to information with events such as the one we're going to talk about in a moment. Okay. But also taking direct action to be prepared for the community, and that includes improvements that we've made to the capabilities of the emergency shelter the county has in West Point. The Lions Club has responsibility for managing that facility. And then also coordinating with other community organizations and then beyond the local community in terms of preparedness and services and how to work together to make progress on various issues. So back to our outreach mission, is it possible to show that flyer on screen, or is that not going to work too well?
No, absolutely. We can
have
show it, and we will also post this at the end. This is the flyer, so if you see it around town, make sure you know, June 14th. Come down to the community center, and we'll show this at the end, and there might be, if you have questions, who to contact.
So thank you, Martha. Let me tell you a little bit about the event. Now, we've been doing these outreach public safety events since we reformed the committee 2 or 3 years ago. We've had winter safety events. We've had spring and summer wildfire awareness events. In the past, we've done them in the evening. But this time, taking a lesson from your playbook over in Arnold and White Pines, we're going to try a full Saturday morning program. So we have 9 expert speakers lined up to speak on many different aspects of wildfire safety and related issues, and we can talk about those in more detail
Sure.
later.
Okay.
We're going to have fire engines there with fire crews that will talk to kids about how a fire engine works and how they do their jobs. We are going to have refreshments. We're going to have door prizes. We're going to have a raffle, which I'll talk about in a minute. We're going to provide a picnic lunch to people in the picnic area behind the community hall. We're going to have a demonstration, a live demonstration of emergency radio networking at 12:30. So we have a lot going on there, and we hope that we'll have a good turnout and that people will come away with news they can use and things that they didn't know before they got there.
Well, from what you've said, it sounds like it's an event for the whole family.
It is, and we're trying to emphasize, I know our area often feels very resilient and prepared and independently able to take care of themselves. We are an insulated community, and often we have rugged individuals there, but we find as the fires do get worse that rules change. CAL FIRE comes up with new regulations and requirements, as do the insurers. So we will have someone there from CAL FIRE to tell us the new requirements and new setbacks and so on, and also someone from the insurance companies to tell us more about what the insurers are looking for and how to prevent being removed from insurance, as many of us have.
Yeah. That is a big problem.
Right.
Insurance and things, CAL FIRE, the requirements all change, and that's why we do have to have it every single year. Some people say, oh, I already know that, but truly and honestly, there's something that you could learn even if you think that you know everything, because things change.
And also, it's important to continue to have the outreach within the community, because just phoning your neighbor if there's a problem and informing them that, you know, it's time to get out, or can I come and help you brush your property before a fire happens, you know, just building the community and interweaving those strengths is critical. And that's part of what the Blue Mountain Emergency Preparedness Committee is also trying to work on.
Oh, that's great. So we can learn a little bit from you. I'm going to be at your event, and I'm looking forward to learning and how to get the community together to really, like you say, help each other. We have a lot of second homeowners up in Arnold, and not everybody's there, and so we don't have neighbors all around. And it's hard to, if you're up there and there's an emergency, where do you go, what do you do? So an event like this will give you all those answers.
Well, we hope it'll give people some answers. Vicki kind of nicely bookended what our morning program is going to be. We're going to start with Emily Kilgore from CAL FIRE, and among other things, she's going to talk about the defensible space requirements and the way the regulations have recently changed. I think there are probably people who are not familiar with the new Zone 0 element of that, and that will all be explained. And then the insurance is going to be the other bookend at the end of our morning program, right before lunch, which we're providing. And Martha, you're in the middle there. You're going to talk about Firewise Communities. Would you like to say a little bit more about that now?
Thanks. Thank you. Yes, actually. So I am going to be talking about Firewise Communities and what it takes to become Firewise. I am no expert by far, but I will do my best to share the knowledge that I know and bring all the information. Firewise is a national organization. And the emphasis really with Firewise community programs is, like your mission, building community. So I'm hoping that that will be the message that people will get. There are certain regulations and a form that you need to fill out and look at your community. So I think that it'll fit right in with your plan.
I was encouraged to learn about Firewise that it only requires 8 people at a minimum, or 8 families,
yeah.
properties, to create a Firewise community. And so that's very doable. And you can, of course, always start with that and build from there. But many of our homes, especially in the West Point area, are fairly dispersed. And so, you know, having just a few people together to create a Firewise community could be a real possibility.
I wasn't quite aware of that either, but yes, eight properties together, and you work together, and you go online and you fill out your report, and you want to know the topography of the land and your plans of how to keep your neighborhood safe, and you submit it and hope for the best.
I don't know that much about the program because in District 3 you have a lot of participation in Firewise communities, and even over in Sheep Ranch of all places. Right. But we don't yet have a Firewise community program operating in District 2, which is the Blue Mountain area and then down to McCullummy Hill. So we're really hoping to get a lot of information from you and also from the folks at the Resource Conservation District at this event. And so I'm speaking with limited knowledge, but as I see it, the Firewise program, it brings a group of neighbors together to focus on a common goal of making the properties in their neighborhood safer for everyone, which will have a huge benefit in time. But there's at least one other benefit of the program.
Yes, there is.
Would you like to mention that now?
So there is a benefit of the program that you do get a small discount or rebate from your insurance company. And so I worked diligently with our fire chief, Mike Johnson, in Arnold to prepare our plan and put it through. And we worked really hard to get the recognition from Firewise and submit it to your insurance company. And depending on what you do, your discount can be anywhere from like 5 to 10 or maybe even more percent. So depending on what your insurance is. But for me, any kind of discount was good. I was happy about that and felt, really proud that we were able to get that. I'm hoping to learn from your insurance companies what else we could do that the insurance companies might take a look at. And hopefully the California Fair Plan would be included.
Critical. Yeah.
Well, our speaker on insurance issues is going to be Ann Lintz. She has an agency in Jackson. I've had my car policies with her for about 10 years. But I was not on property insurance from State Farm. I had to go with a ranch and farm policy. I got dropped from that last year, and my insurance bill went up 600% when I joined the FAIR plan. So I wouldn't mind getting a 10% discount.
Right.
Right. And my motto for the Firewise Communities Program is that if Sheep Ranch can do it, maybe West Point, maybe Wilseyville, maybe Glencoe can do it.
So I will tell you that there are only 10 Firewise communities in all of Calaveras County. So I appreciate what you're doing, and I'm hoping that from what we started and talk about, and what you talk about, other communities will get on the bandwagon, so to say, and start, making that community. And then, further down the line, it's community. It's making the connections with your neighbors, because maybe you don't know who your neighbors are, and you say your properties are wide and dispersed and, not close. Where I live, it's a little bit closer than that. We don't have that much property. But the goal of this whole thing, your event, my event, the film festival, is to make people aware and to act now, because it's time to act now.
For your viewers, I might mention that they can Google the Firewise Communities Program, and I believe it's from the Fire Protection National Fire Protection Association.
Yeah.
And so that should be enough to bring up their page if you want more information about Firewise Communities.
That is correct, and we'll talk about that too. I see, though, there's something right here. Would you like to tell us what this nice shining green apparatus is?
I brought this eye candy here. Let me put it out on full display. I just unboxed it. It's still got the leggings on. But we are having a raffle, and we want to demonstrate to our June 14th audience and also talk a little bit about property defense strategies. And there are various ways you might approach this. There's a lot of interest now in rooftop sprinkler systems, and I saw that Martin Hubbardy had one on stage at the film festival event this past Saturday in Angels Camp. And I've looked at those, and I've looked at another system, and that would be ground-based sprinkler systems. This comes with either a Rainbird or an Orbit impact sprinkler head. It can be raised up to about 48 inches, and it just connects to a garden hose. And if you really want to, for peace of mind, you want to have a complete system, you put a battery-operated timer on it so that if you have to evacuate, you just set it and forget it, and while you're away in a safe place, the timer will continue to apply intermittent watering through your
that's great.
through these sprinklers on different parts of your property and your structure. And by running only, say, 5 minutes every hour or two, it doesn't put that big a demand on the water system, either your well or your city water supply either. So we're going to be raffling off one of these sprinklers on a tripod. In fact, it looks incomplete because it is. I just unboxed this, but trust me, the sprinkler head is in here, and it looks like a typical lawn sprinkler when we're
That's
done.
great. So you don't have to undo the nozzle and put it back on there.
And there are simpler sprinklers too. Like if you have, if you think you're going to have an evacuation order and you're packing your car, and as you go by the faucet, you want to just give this a twist and let it run for 10 minutes and not have to think about it again. There are other sprinkler timer options. But we're going to offer this tripod sprinkler, a timer sprinkler, battery-operated timer that's similar to this one, and a 25-foot garden hose donated by various businesses and organizations. So that is a raffle prize.
Okay,
we'll have raffle tickets at the event. Now I hear this ticking, so I better turn it off.
It's timing us.
But that's what this is about, and we'll be able to answer any questions about this kind of system at the event on June 14th.
Okay.
And we'll also have door prizes that you don't have to buy a raffle ticket for, so you win-win, right?
Yeah, we have donations from half a dozen local businesses, raffle prizes. Just off the top of my head, we have an emergency radio from the Red Cross. I think, trying to think, various things.
Yeah, we're going to have
we haven't collected them all yet.
Yeah,
So.
we're working on it, but a small gift basket, I believe, from Willow's, which is a coffee and breakfast lunch place in West Point, and I know we've
Those
got
are
a
always
few
the
other
fun
things
things
coming
to break up all that information that
Yes,
comes
exactly.
to you, because it's important. Sometimes it's a little overwhelming,
It can
so
be
it's nice
overwhelming,
that you
yes.
have some breaks. Now the fire truck is coming?
Yes.
Yes, we've invited both CAL FIRE and West Point Fire, and we have a confirmation from West Point that they'll bring a truck and crew. And we are going to have walk-around tours. Call them a tour, they're not driving anywhere, but they will show off the entire fire engine to kids and families at 9 o'clock, at 10:30, and at 12 o'clock.
Okay.
And I think they're looking forward to seeing the kids there.
Yeah, well, that's great, because now there's something for the kids to do,
Right.
excitement. They'll say, you know, come on, let's go, see that fire truck.
That's right.
And lunch is provided by?
By Cal Waste. So we're very grateful to all of our sponsors and donors, and including Cal Waste, for a nice grilled barbecue picnic lunch.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, I can thank them as well for providing our barbecue. This year we didn't have snow. We had our event is the first weekend in May, and last year it rained and snowed on us, but Cal Waste was out there barbecuing underneath their awning, so that was pretty good. So I understand the location of West Point, so I have not been there, but it's if the wildfire comes through, you need to know about what to do to be prepared and where to go. So the shelter is at the...
It's on Highway 26 at 22283, Highway 26. That's right in the center of greater downtown West Point, at one of the 2 stop signs. Well, I guess there are 4 stop signs now. And it has been designated as the county disaster shelter for some time now. And as I say, as time goes on, we are trying to strengthen its resiliency so that if we do have to shelter people in place for an extended period of time, we can actually feed them now and cover them with Red Cross blankets, and we're working on cots from Red Cross. So it has been a collaborative effort to make it a welcoming and safe place for many people. We're also, right now we have a generator that has been furnished by PG&E, so in case there is a power outage, we do have power to run the center, and that means we'll have heat, we'll have light, we'll have ability to make food, heat food for people, and shelter anyone in heat or cold.
And this is where the event will be?
This is where the event will be, yeah.
Yeah, it's an old, it's a hall that has a history going back to the 50s, I think.
It was built in the late 40s as a movie theater. And it was built before movies became, and before television became the thing to do. And as soon as television came in the mid-50s, then he was unable to make a profit there anymore. He went bankrupt, the man who built the hall, and long story short, it eventually fell to the county. So it's actually a county building. And just before COVID, the county got PG&E funds and funds from the county, $30,000 from the county and $100,000 from the PG&E Butte Fire funds that were contributed because of the fire to the area. So we put that money, the county put that money into renovating the hall. So it's now in beautiful condition. It's very attractive. You can actually hear when you speak because there's not as much reverberation. And so we're still working on a few more improvements, but it is a lovely place to be. But the Lions has the responsibility now. We rent the hall for $1 a year with the stipulation that we cover the maintenance and utilities and upkeep of the hall. So that falls to us, and that's part of why we're working on doing this raffle, to try to bring in funds to make sure that we can continue our responsibility there of taking care of the hall and making sure it's there when it's needed for the county residents.
Yeah, that sounds great. Is there anything else you'd like to tell us about the Lions Club?
The Lions Club is about to celebrate 75 years in the community. West Point Lions Club was founded in 1951, year after I was born.
We won't tell anybody.
Oh, no. And it has been an up and down battle there. Right now we have a few very active members, a few members that are out on sick leave, unfortunately, because that puts a real crimp in our style. But we are very active in collecting funds for a food drive every year. Of course, we collect glasses, as Lions do everywhere. So please give us your glasses that you're no longer using, and hearing aids and cell phones, and they all go on from us to support people that need them, who can't afford them. I think many of the glasses go to Mexico, for instance, and support people there. And then every year at Lumberjack Day, we have a margarita booth, which is an important and fun and popular fundraiser that we do.
Could I jump in at that point?
You certainly can, yeah.
So the margarita booth at Lumberjack Days is one of our important fundraisers.
Yeah.
Also renting the hall to private parties has been. But Lions Club has a fairly heavy lift there, and I only joined Lions a little over a year ago, and I didn't know this stuff. But it costs the Lions almost $6,000 a year in West Point to keep the emergency shelter and the hall functional for the benefit of the community and the county. And we spend all year fundraising to cover those costs. I did not know that, and it really changed my whole perception of what Lions Club is doing there.
Okay, well, thank you. We're almost out of time, so I would like to take the time to thank you both for coming down, being my first guests. And I hope to see you and everybody else who might be listening to come down to the community center at
22283 Highway 26, West Point.
Okay, and we will have the extravaganza.
We're starting at 9:30.
Oh,
Doors open at 9 o'clock Saturday morning on June 14th.
All right, well, I look forward to being there. And wildfires don't wait. The time to act is now. So everybody come out June 14th. Doors open 9 o'clock. The program starts at 9:30, and we hope to see you there. There's raffles. There's experts talking about how to be prepared, something for everybody, fire trucks, and we'll end with lunch. Great. So thank you so much.
Thank you for having us.
It's been great to be here, Martha. Thank you so much for having us here and for the work that you do in this same area of public awareness.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. So, as the sign says, be prepared, Calaveras.